Welcome to Chocozone podcast. This time we go in Thailand and in the north of Thailand, where in Chiang Mai I have another school, yes, the Thai Fbm Area, and here we will meet a wonderful family. But I don't want to say anything more. Enjoy. Hello guys, welcome back to Chocozone podcast. And this time, this episode, we are in Thailand, in the north of Thailand, where we have the school, the Thai FBM area, and we are here with a wonderful family that is a tower for the cocoa and chocolate in Thailand, in the cocoa history. And here we are with the family Lahongri. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hello สวัสดีครับ
Hi. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. So
and
the
hello I'm Mark
yeah, and this family is it is very unite, and from this family started a lot of business around chocolate and around cocoa in Thailand. I want to start talking with you about the great help that given to the cocoa your father, and because I know that in Thailand there was not the cocoa trees till when your father did something, and so I think that you can start to explain to us this great history.
The history of cocoa in Thailand is a long story and quite complicated because most Thai people and actually other people in the world or in the cocoa industry would say cocoa has been exited in Thailand only 40 to 50 years, but actually it has been exited truly about almost 100 years. And everyone needs to think that 100 years is not a short period, but why Thailand still not a cocoa growing country like other like our neighbor like Vietnam or other country like Indonesia or Malaysia. And the beginning is the importation of cacao by the government at that time. And I think that actually cacao was becoming a trend in our country in 50 years ago, but it failed because the market needs the good quality cocoa beans, but the bean traders didn't train the good practice and proper post-harvest technology. And it's impossible that all farmers would be able to have their own post-harvesting center with a good food safety and quality standard, because the quality of the beans couldn't have met the standard at the time. So they have like the very low prices for the cocoa beans at that time. And a lot of farmers decide to cut their cacao trees out and plant other crops instead of cacao because of none of market to sell in our country. Yeah.
So
So,
chocolate
yeah.
and cacao is not a traditional food for
Yeah.
Thailand.
Yeah.
It's something
And
relatively new.
yeah, and actually, I think the most important thing is that the post harvesting technology is not that. I mean, the farmers need the good training before we get the good chocolate. We also need to get the good cocoa beans first. But because they didn't get enough support from the traders or the government, so that they cannot have the good cocoa bean to supply, and the price is very low at that time. Yeah.
And where do you have the cocoa? In which part of Thailand? And do you drive the farmers And in which way do you drive the farmers?
Actually, for now, we have two ways. So the first way we have like the center, because Thailand have about 70 provinces. So our Thailand we have 70 provinces and have about um, six six regions. So the land is quite big. So we need to separate the fermenting and drying center into the regions. Yeah.
Okay.
And we train them how to fermenting cacao and drying cacao in the proper way.
I remember
Yeah.
last time I was there that your father was making some experiments
Yeah.
and some genetics. Can you
Yeah.
just just a little tell us about it? Which point you are in that kind of
Yeah.
experience?
He is the professor. He got the cacao from Peru and Philippines from the program of the exchange professor and from his colleague at Major University. So he developed and selected the cacao, his own cacao variety, and the name of this variety is IM1. พ่ออยาก
Okay.
จะพูด yeah, I would like him to talk a bit about his own variety in English.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm a variety is a hybrid fine
Yeah.
cacao. Yes. It's referred to Titni Tareo variety. You know,
Uh-huh.
Titni Tareo variety. This is a
Yeah.
Because I
very
remember
fine
you
cacao.
wanted to make it stronger. You were focusing on making stronger beans, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let me explain more a bit about his own variety. And he developed and did the research for his variety. He found that this variety can plant throughout Thailand because yeah, because actually in Thailand we have the north of Thailand which have like a bit cold. It's a bit cold in Chiang Mai or and
Okay.
in the north of Thailand, but we found that our cacao can plant throughout Thailand, even in north or south of Thailand. And as I know, it have like a drought resistant. Yeah.
Irene, just a number. How many plants you have of cocoa in all
How many plants?
the yeah
You mean
in all Thailand? How many trees
throughout
of
Thailand?
yeah?
About 3 million trees
Wow.
throughout Thailand,
Wow.
which is
And
our own variety. Yeah.
what is the percentage of these trees that can give cocoa? All the 3 millions or little less?
For now, it's about 30% of all 3 million trees because actually cacao just became a trend in Thailand in about 3 years ago because
Yeah.
we worked on cacao about 30 years ago and my dad started to support the farmer to plant cacao about 10 years ago and actually it just become a trend in 3 years ago. Yeah.
I understand.
But
And so, at one point, you had a lot of cacao, and in which way you start to decide to do also chocolate from yourself?
To make chocolate.
Who did this? I just know the answer.
Yeah.
I see behind you, but
Uh-huh.
I ask.
Actually, my dad is a professor, so he needs to conduct his research on cacao. So firstly, he did the conduct the research on the cacao variety, like Thai local variety IM1. And after that, when we have the good variety, we also need to have the good post-harvesting process. So he start to good fermentation. So he
Yeah.
start did his research on the fermentation and drying cacao process. So after that, after we have the good cocoa beans, my mom involved in this research and she she created the recipe for making a good fermentation with my dad. And after that, she thought that so what we have a good cocoa beans, why we cannot have like
with
good
chocolate.
chocolate? Yeah, so she started to um, make the recipe of for different products. Start from the chocolate, like very normal, and then we have and then she have like the process of making cocoa powder and cocoa butter. Yeah.
And
then
also nibs. You can sell also the cocoa nibs, correct? So
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
we
a
also have
variety of everything: beans, nibs, chocolate, cocoa butter, cocoa powder,
yeah. For now,
everything.
we supply everything from cocoa beans to chocolate, cocoa powder, butter. Yeah.
You are a real chocolate family. You make everything.
Yeah,
We
like I
make
have said
everything.
before, this is a special family for the cocoa and the chocolate world. And just about it, I asked you, what is today MarkRin cocoa and MarkRin chocolate? Where do you sell your chocolate, your cocoa, and what is the next step of this big growth that you had in the last years?
Actually, for our brand, we start to sell our chocolate to like a high-end chef in Thailand. For example, we are selling our chocolate to Mesa Luna, which is the 2 Michelin star restaurant, and also other Michelin star restaurants. We start with the high quality chocolate, and today we also have like high quality chocolate, but we try to expand our products like cocoa butter and cocoa powder, and we also export our products to other countries. For example, in China also have cocoa powder under our brand, and also in Japan we also export the raw material, for example, cacao nibs and cacao butter.
Yeah.
And actually, we are now have a new project with our Japanese distributor that we will have cacao nibs and cacao butter under our own brand in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
Except from Thailand,
yeah.
except from Thailand, it is your own country, which is the foreign country where you do sell the most in percent.
Actually, for now in China is the
China.
most. Yeah, China, Japan, and in the country in Europe. But in
Yeah,
Europe,
I met you also in
yeah,
Amsterdam. I met you also in
yes.
Paris. So I see you everywhere, also in Europe. Yeah, that's true.
But in Europe, actually, we focus on selling the beans and the raw material like cocoa butter, cocoa powder, because actually Europe is the world of chocolate. But
Thank you.
actually, we
That's
also have a new project with our partner Dominic Flavio to have like our own brand, MarkRin brand, cocoa powder in Europe, in France. Yeah,
I understand. Interesting.
and
And
in some other country like Singapore. Yeah, but not much like in China. Yeah.
just a little think back about the farmers. Your father is has the knowledge about the trees, about also the way to keep safety the trees that in the history of Thailand no one could do it, and he drives also the family in these 17 plantations. But in which way he do it, and what this give to the families that do it. So it is, I think, something that can give more for the families, no, for the families that of
Yeah.
farmers that are doing this, because I think that normally they work only with the rice, so it is a poor cultivation, and maybe that with cocoa they can grow a little bit. So in which way you drive all this organization?
You means that how we work with our farmers? Okay. So normally we when we train our farmers when they want to plant cacao, we will not let them plant monocropping. Do you know monocropping? Monocropping means they
Yeah.
have only cacao in their area, but we will suggest them to have like an intercropping system, so they can plant cacao with other crops. for example, in Thailand is the durian country. So our farmers who have their own durian, they can have cacao in between. So they can have the additional income from cacao. So like because for some crops like I'm not sure because I'm not a person who in the agricultural field, but for some crop they can harvest only once a year. Or for
Oh,
example, for rice, they can harvest only twice a year. But for cacao, they can harvest throughout the years, so they can have the additional income um, to to for their family and for themselves. And actually, for cacao, it's very good for their land because it's no need to burn the land to prepare for cacao, like other crop. Yeah, it's gonna be good for environment too.
And I remember a funny story from your father
Yeah.
about the families that are working with you. How do they keep the rats and the wild animals away from the cocoa beans?
Actually, there are a lot of cats, about 3 to 4 families of them at our own farm because we also have our own plantation. Not
Yeah.
only work directly with the Thai local farmer, but we also have our own plantation. Not big, but it's very nice, and we have a lot of cats that they will like catch the rat.
The mice, yeah.
Yeah.
But the peculiarity is that you don't feed the cats. I mean, you don't give
Yeah,
food
yeah,
to
yeah.
cats, so
Yeah,
the cats have to find their own food.
They do
yeah,
their
yeah.
job.
Yeah, they do
Exactly.
their job. Like a white cat, yeah.
So, in which way you make the chocolate from the cocoa beans? Tell me. I know that your mama is
The master.
the master about it, and you see her, you know well, I think. So explain me in which way, what is the step from the cocoa? I think you do the selection, then go.
She start using that to grinding our cacao before we have FBM machine. and and she used the pan at our home to make a roasting. To try her roasting process before we having a good machine like FBM. So the first step of our work is that we have both our own plantation and the local farmer plantation. So we will have like we will receive the cocoa beans, and sometimes we receive cocoa pod directly from our farmer. We have a contract directly to our farmer, no broker, and we work with them directly so we can train them how to harvest cacao perfectly and how to take care of their cacao. And the next step is that after we finish our fermentation, we will select the bean before we making chocolate. We use actually we will have staff at our farm that they use the hand to select the beans right now. And after we get the good beans, we will use the ninja bean to cracking our to get the coconuts. Yeah, and after that we will use griddle. It's amazing, because it's very small. It looks so small, but it's like give us a huge cocoa paste before we making cocoa liquor. And after that we will use rumbo. I she loves
The
rumbo.
grinder.
Yeah, we use the
Thank
grinder,
you.
rumbo, and actually we have both rumbo and talboma, but we use them in different functions. We will use our rumbo, both rumbo kit and the big one, for making dark chocolate, white chocolate, and milk chocolate. But for the talboma, we will use them when we make a cocoa powder because the capacity of talboma is very huge, so that we
Yeah,
can
the
use
the the
them
ball
to
mill the ball
uh,
mill is faster than the grinder.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we forgot to use them to make a to get the cocoa liquor. Um,
Yeah.
and then we make cocoa powder and butter, and we also use the tempering machine from FBM. It's amazing.
Honestly, you think that this miracle that your family has done in Thai could be repeatable in the neighborhood in the other countries near Thailand, or it is quite impossible for the climate, for the head of the people, for a lot of things.
For the weather.
So we think that it's gonna be possible if you start doing something and then you develop it, and you're gonna have the good thing afterwards.
I think that there are rules to make chocolates, and there are, I think, more rules to keep the plantation of cacao in your
Yeah.
region. But if you follow these rules, maybe it could be possible to do the same miracle. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You help the farmers with your father, and I have seen, I know well that you help also the potential chocolate makers, because we did a few years ago the school
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And what is the and how is organized the classes in Thailand
Yeah.
for the
Actually,
FBM?
the organize for our class Thai Fbm area in Thailand went very well, and there were a lot of our customer and Thai people, or even the people from our neighbor country like Singapore or India, also interested in this class, and they also attend. Like the first time that we start our first class with Giuseppe, we also have Singaporean
And in
students,
China too.
and
In
China,
China too.
and also because the second time
You
I
were not
didn't,
there.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and actually also have like Indonesia, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I think it's very good to have like a motivation for the bean to bar chocolate maker, because some of our customers also have their own brand, and other like they want to create the new brand, so they came to attend our class. Like we have Ryan Rom
Yeah.
chocolate. They have a farm in Chiang Rai in the north of Thailand, and after they attended in our class, they can have like their own chocolate drink that made from them from bean to bar, and also it's a great, because also our farmers that plant cacao in Korat province also attend this class to they want to develop their chocolate in the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and according to you, how in which way the machines could help to bring more margin for a chocolate maker? So I see that, like your mama, a lot of new chocolate makers start from experiments
Yes.
at home, and then they would like to start in a bigger way, but they are afraid. What do you suggest to anyone that want to become a chocolate maker?
Let me ask my mom. It's gonna be her question. Um, she she told that firstly, actually, if in our in I mean in our own country, it's not a chocolate country. So when we suggest to our customer for or our friend, we will suggest that firstly you need to see your aim, your purpose to make chocolate. Why you make chocolate? You want to sell chocolate bar, or you just make it for fun? But if you want to sell, really want to sell it, you need to see the markets firstly. Like in Thailand, mostly Thai people always eat chocolate in terms of drink. They eat a chocolate drink. Like our customer in Chiang Rai, they focus to make chocolate drink and make their own bakery from their own chocolate. It doesn't mean that you it doesn't mean that you need to only make the chocolate bar if you have the machine, but you can see the market first, and then when you see the market that where and who you can sell for, so then your fear will less and gone. Yeah, เรียบร้อยแล้ว
And this is also one of the good reasons why
Oh,
the
sorry.
this
She has something more. Sorry.
yes
She, for example, our own farmers, they also want to make their own chocolate because they plant cacao and they want to have their own chocolate. แล้วงั้น she want you to make the smaller grinding machine.
yes she's not the only one. She's not the
Yeah,
only one.
because actually a lot of our customers are interested in the small machine because they want to start with only 3 to 5 kilo of the grinding machine. So she said that if you have like the small machine, we will brought 20 of them for
Into
our
the
farmers.
yeah.
Well, you can say to your mom that this month, in November to 2020, we will present the room baby, so she
อ๋อ
could see
แม่
something
เดี๋ยว
like this.
เขาจะมีลูมโบเบบี้แล้ว ในเดือน for now a lot of our farmers want to have their chocolate their own chocolate brand, so if we have like a smaller machine from you, so they can make their own chocolate in their own shop in at the farm, like also have a farm tour and have a chocolate and good chocolate at the farm. Yeah.
We will talk about it.
Okay.
And
So the good point of the making the classes in your facility is that you can show people the whole process. It's not just okay, I'm going to show you how to make
Yeah.
chocolate, but
Yeah.
they experience what does it mean. So they work on a machine, they work on another machine, and this is very good because the future chocolate makers start thinking about which are the problems, which is the time that is required. And one of the best parts that I only experienced during the classes that the first day we can visit the plantation.
Yeah.
So you can touch the beans, you see what does it mean to have a direct contact with the farmer. And your people, the Thai people, they are always smiling. They are always smiling faces. So one of the wonderful things during these 3 days class is that everybody enjoy, but it's not the usual enjoyment of the people attending the classes, but it's completely fun. Everybody's is enjoying very much and having fun about making chocolate. And this is I think this is one of the best things that you can provide to your attendees and to your customer and to the people from your country.
Yeah, because actually when we start to have our collaboration for the class, I thought that if we have like a fermentation workshop or drying cocoa beans workshop, it's gonna be great because not only the people who want to make chocolate in the class, but might be also the farmers who attend the class, and the chocolate maker also know a bit about how to make a fermentation and drying cocoa beans.
That's right.
Yeah.
that's last question. How do you see the market in Thailand and your region in the next 10 years? So in 2030, how do you see the chocolate market?
Okay, so the first step that in next 3 to 5 years, actually recently Thailand need to import cacao for about 50,000 tons a year. Even we have even we have cacao trees in our country, but we need to import about 50,000. It's not a small amount, but it's a huge because actually in Thailand or in Bangkok, we have like a factory area that have like a the manufacture of cocoa grinding industry and also chocolate industry, and not only the chocolate and cocoa but also like a chocolate compound that they need to use the cocoa powder. So what we think we plan in next 3 to 5 years. Firstly, we want to stop import cacao from other country, and Thai people must have Thai cacao at their home. Yeah,
To make the Thai chocolate.
especially MarkRin.
This is quite more than sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I thank you for your time.
Thank you very
And
much.
yeah,
Thank you so much
and
for having me today.
you are here also. This is
Oh.
your
Your school.
this is your logo, Thai Fbm Area. I thank you for your time, for our cooperation, and I hope to visit you very soon. Also, if like it's difficult to do any program this time.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And hope, and actually for now we need to stop our class and we plan to open it soon next year with Giuseppe or you.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And
Thank you.
very
Thank you very
much.
much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.